We make dental billing and insurance easier to understand. Subscribe to stay updated and help us grow the channel.
I had a tragic medical accident I'll share with you. March 18th of 2022, I had a stroke. And so I went from a owner doc with 2 locations as the main producer, and then to I couldn't go into clinical care. My doctor told me that there's no way I could go back to the way I was, and that I would be myself lucky if I do part-time clinic. And so at that point in my life, I said, gosh, I got to figure out how to reinvent myself. And so I was thinking of all the things I could do, all the things that I like to do. And I still remember one of my past associates said to me, he said, there's more than one way to make money in dentistry. And that really stuck with me.
Yeah, very true.
And he had said to me, if there's anybody that can do it, my young associate that, I'm very proud of him. He's off, he started his own practice. He said, oh, I kind of wish I was back there as your associate because I want to see what you're going to do. Because he said he had that much faith in me. He's like, I know you can do it. And as I got back on my feet, I would tell you, and the first 3 months were hard. I lost all of the feeling on the right side of my body. I still don't have it all back. And if you ever see me in person, you'll see I limp a little bit. And I had to reinvent myself. I knew that the first thing I wanted to do, regardless about financial matters, was I wanted to take care of my patients and my team.
Yeah.
And so juggling everything, 45 years old, thinking that I was on top of the world and your whole world comes crashing down, you realized I got to rethink this. Yeah. Now, before that, ironically, I had told my docs, because I'm very close to a lot of them. I said, I think around age 50, I'm going to start phasing out and doing some other things. Some of my other side projects I'm going to put more time into. And I'd always dabbled in like lecturing and, other side projects. But after the stroke, I'm like, okay, we got to shift.
Yeah.
We got to call an audible for those football fans out there. I was like, we got to call audible. Yeah. I got to hire another associate, take myself out of clinical care. And I said to you, 2022, it's been 3 years and we've had to shift a lot of things. And I'm still in the process of shifting things, but I will say Curve technology has been a huge help, especially Curve, because as we're sitting here talking, Teresa, I can look at my team's schedule. I can do it all remotely. Last year, Curve came out with the mobile app. I can tell you, my team loves it. On a Sunday evening, you can look at your schedule and you can say, oh, yeah, you know what? My morning patient canceled. I'm not going to rush like crazy trying to get there on time.
Right. Yeah. And I do want to talk about that because something that's been coming up a lot in my conversations with doctors is, okay, I want to manage a team, but I may have some people working remotely. I may have the ability to, go work at a different location, but I need to take stock of what's going on in the primary location. So I don't really want to go into the actual specifics of that. But what I would love to hear from you, and I do have one other topic though, is how to handle those conversations where you don't feel like you're hovering because you can see everything. And how do you communicate, hey, I'm taking a look at this, but I'm not here. I think the whole topic of remote management by a doctor, by a manager is just so needed because there's an art to managing when you're not right there. It's harder. It's definitely harder. And there has to be such a high level of trust and respect or else it doesn't work. So, but I would love to go back to, let's take you back and, and if you don't want to talk about this, just wave at me on the screen. But
I'm an open book, Teresa. So
I know that's why I was so happy when you said, yes, let's do it. When you had the stroke, talk me through who contacted your manager? Because I met your wife. She's lovely. Your family's adorable. So your wife, she was probably like, oh my gosh, trying to figure things out. But somebody had to call the office to let things know. How did that happen? And then what did your manager do, say, first day or two that the news hit her or him?
Well, just to share with you, when I had my stroke, I had 2 offices. So I was already doing some remote management anyways. So we created WhatsApp groups on our phone where we had different chat groups. Like the Westford office had a chat group, the Bedford office. Now, when I had my stroke, obviously it was in the middle of the night. My closest friend and colleague is also my pediatric dentist that works for me. And my wife immediately called him and be like, hey, something's not good. And then so that's when the whole phone tree kind of started.
Yeah.
And so all that information went to the managers next. And then the managers then notified the team, because I have a pretty large team for comparatively than most offices. We have 26 employees at Emerson. So,
Wow.
to share with you the size of it is we're multi-specialty. So we have endo, perio, 2 pediatric dentists, and 3 general dentists, and then all the assistants and the hygienists,
Right.
under that roof.
So that's 26 over 2 locations.
We're over 2 locations.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that is a nice sized team.
You're
Okay.
right.
So then the managers kicked into gear. Do you have one manager for both, or do you have
One
location
in
managers?
each location, one per location. So they have their own chat group of, how they're going to handle things. Because one is a startup. One's a scratch startup. The other one was my bigger location, which is like the mothership.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of conversation flying. How did you handle the conversations with patients? Did they, and I know you weren't there, but did you hear how they handled it? Did they reach out initially, or was it case by case with the people who were scheduled?
Case by case, they told them that I had some family matters. To share with you, when I had my stroke, I was nonverbal for like the first week. I couldn't really talk.
Okay.
So to share with you how scary it was is, I could hear, I stuttered a lot. And even here in this podcast, even post 3 years, when I get overstimulated, sometimes I stutter my words. I know everybody tells me I sound fine, but I just feel like it's the best way I can describe is it's harder for me to say certain words or say certain things sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though people don't notice it, I can tell. So
yeah, of course. Now you're managing your team, so you're back. Okay, so you ease back into it. Are you in the office? Or are you still like recovering from home? Do you go into the office at all? Like, just say what, three months out?
So 3 months out, I'm still going through PTOT. I couldn't drive actually.
Man.
So because it affected my right side. So you have a car. Unless we lived in Britain, Japan, or Australia, where they drive on the other side of the road, my right foot was numb, and I was deemed that it was unsafe for me to drive.
Oh, wow.
So because of that, my whole life reset. I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to talk again. I would say in 3 months, I was okay hobbling. I was okay, talking. And then came driving. And, you want to talk about government long lines and waiting. I had to reapply to drive for a driver's license for them to have me modify my car with a left-footed gas pedal.
Really?
So,
Wow. Okay.
So I now can drive, but I didn't get my driver's license until November, which was almost 9 months post-stroke.
Wow.
And so since you bring that up, what I could do is at home, I could go on my laptop, I could go in the cloud, I could see things. What a blessing of technology. I could FaceTime people. I could FaceTime my patients. I even said that to my staff. I'm like, any patient that wants to see me, please let me know. I would love to FaceTime, like where you and I are on this Riverside video. We see each other's faces, even though we're probably 1,000 miles away from each other.
Yeah, but that is, from a patient point of view, that's pretty amazing, because I'm sure you had patients that were very, very worried about you, felt very close to you, and wanted to say hi and just see you're okay.
And it goes the other way. It was good for me to see that they were taken care of. And it was a checkpoint, like you said. And when you talk about being overbearing or managing, I will always tell people that it's okay to check on things. In fact, the best advice I ever got from someone was trust, but verify. And then if someone feels like I'm too up in their stuff, I'm like, no, I trust you. I just need to verify. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to be not overbearing, because as dentists, we tend to be very OCD about details.
Yeah.
So
If you learned something new today, subscribing is the best way to support the channel and keep learning with us.
Would you like to hear more? Follow the link for the full episode.